Hey beautiful people, how are you today? Hope you're all doing great. I'm Paria from magicalords team. I'm here with a very great episode today with three people. We are going to talk to dear Jeremy, Angel, and also a very powerful woman in this Web3, dear Star. So make sure that you bring your papers to write down most important points that we are going to discuss today. So don't forget to subscribe my page and follow my Twitter as well. And we are going to start this chat. But don't forget that English is not my first language, and I know most of you know that. But for those who are just so new in my page, I have sometimes some barriers with English. So please bear with me and follow for other videos. Let's start.
Oh, hello, Pariyajan, Paradise, Sor, how are you doing?
Yeah, we are great. We are great. Yeah.
Thank God. So nice to hear from you here. Angel is here.
Yeah, I just invited him. Okay. Hi, Angel. How are you?
Hello, guys. Sorry for being late for 5 minutes. Give me a second.
No
I'm
problem.
doing
No
things.
problem. I just wanted to play a little music, but people just say it is just romantic. So I stopped that. No problem.
Don't worry. Play any kind of music you want. Give me 2 minutes. I will be back. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Thanks.
I think we will have Jeremy in couple of minutes, so we can just start to hear from you guys, and I believe that we will have him in the maybe couple of minutes. So, Star, I think it is just the time that you can start and talk about a little about yourself. I want people to know you more, to know about your art journey. What brings you to art, actually? I want to know that part.
Okay, I didn't know we were jumping in so quick. Hang on a second.
No problem.
It's okay. I was looking for music to play. I was like, well, maybe I'll play a song.
Yeah, because just the sound is not that great, so I just stopped that.
Yeah.
While you're doing your stuffs, guys, as you know, sometimes I have some problems with my internet. So please, if we are in the middle of the chat and something happened to me, please come back again, because I just try my best to start the space again, and we will have a very nice chat today. So don't forget to come back again if I get right. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share. I guess I'll share that first that I'm a 40-year-old Indigenous woman. I'm Métis, and I live on the west coast of British Columbia, a city called Vancouver, and on a small little kind of an island. It's on the mainland, but you still have to take a ferry to get there. It's called Sunshine Coast, and it's super special. Um, I just discovered that I'm an artist for the first time in my life in this capacity last November after a really large emotional upheaval happened in my life. And prior to that, like I really follow the Toltec traditions. It's the Four Agreements. I really recommend anybody to pick up that book and look into what the Four Agreements are. But they talk a lot about us being artists of our own life. And so I always really believe that over the last 17 years when I've been on my spiritual journey, just that everything we do, we're creating our story every day, and we make choices about, how we're going to behave, how we're going to treat somebody, how that's going to transpire into the universe, even down to what we pick to wear that day. And I was always creative. My kids grew up with a craft room. I used to make little kids me craft fairs and face paint kids' birthday parties and dress up like Katy Perry. I remember being young and being fascinated with Japanese art and wanting to become an artist, but my mom was sort of the opinion, marry a rich man and get a union job and like you'll never go anywhere as an artist, and really kind of squash those dreams early on. And I did have to leave home. I ran away when I was 13 because I had a very abusive home life, and I just been on my own ever since. So I got back together with the father of my kids about 17 months ago. And after 15 years of separation, we've recently separated again. But what birthed all this art out of me was last November. He opened up Pandora's box to our past. My mom was in the psych ward, struggling, and she was being very extremely manipulative to me. And my uncle had passed away, and he actually came to me in a dream, and I recalled an old suppressed a sexual assault that I did not know, I didn't remember about. I just had shelved it. So there was just all these things going on at once, and I started to feel super angry. And I'm a healer. I'm an energy healer. I've been working with energy for a long time. I've been practicing meditation, obviously yoga. I've done breathwork journeys, qigong. I've been in talk therapy for 15 years, like so many of these different healing arts. But art has really just sort of bridged the gap to all that. It is now giving everything a voice. But um, I was so angry, and I hadn't felt that much anger in quite a few years. And then I got this message from Spirit, and Spirit was like, you need to go get charcoal. Go get charcoal. And I was like, what is going on? I told my partner at the time, and he just drove me to the art store. And I kind of knew on my way there what was happening. I knew that I was going to use this to process what I was going through. And I was ready for that. I'd originally wanted to work with pastels, oil pastels. I've been having visions about that, but I knew the charcoal was for anger. And so I grabbed the supplies. I just started to create all these characters. And I mean, like creepy little doll characters. And I haven't released or shown those yet. I only have a few photos of my earlier stuff. And charcoal I only bring it out when I'm angry. So I don't have too many pieces of those. But then I took it into my counselor, and I was like, look at what I'm doing. And I was really nervous about it. And he just looked at my art, and he was like, I think you got something. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I think you got something. Like, have you ever heard of Beeple? Have you ever heard of this person? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he starts telling me about NFTs and is saying that, you could put those up. And he's telling me about what NFTs are. And I had no idea about anything. And I actually kind of judged it at first. I was kind of like, JPEGs, like, what's up with that? And so I just started doing some research. And then I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. After I'd shown some family and friends, and people were giving me positive feedback. And so I got an iPad with the intent of uploading my charcoal art into Procreate, and then just digitizing it or coloring it. But then I saw the brushes, and I started to watch YouTube videos, and I got super creative, and I just started to create all these characters started to come out of me. And the first collection that I did was that I put on the NFT world was this Boiling Point collection. And you can go into my link tree, and you can see that. And actually, I almost prefer you don't, because a little bit, because I kind of put that collection out first. I didn't have really good guidance with putting it out. And even though it's super relevant now, because I'm kind of going through a similar emotional upheaval with my separation now, that collection just didn't roll it out the way I hoped. But this I also had a car accident 7.5 years ago that left me brain injured. I lost everything. I had a yacht care business, and I was making like 20 grand a month. I was independent, had my kids. I was just rocking it. I was a rocketed business in the marine industry as a woman with a male dominated industry, and I was commanding respect, and I was like the best I'd ever been. And then I just kind of got the car accident, and I lost everything: my business, my home, my kids, my pets, my dignity, my independence, and then my identity, because I just kind of had it all wrapped up into that. So it's been a long climb back. And one of the part of my story is that I had to leave my children. and go to this little island, Sunshine Coast, where I'm actually moving back to. And that's where these dolls. Oh, I got the you put. Why no you shared my other work. Okay, hold on. I really wanted to keep Claire up there. Sorry, that got me off course a little bit.
Are they handmade, Star?
Yeah, I'm going to get into that right now. So, yes, they are handmade. So these dolls were birthed because while I was brain injured, I was smoking cannabis for my well-being and for anxiety, because I had social anxiety. I couldn't speak because of my brain injury. I couldn't talk, and I had a lot of pain. So, but at the cannabis, I couldn't afford to get it from the government stores. I got off the street from somebody that I thought I knew, and it was laced with meth. And I ended up going into psychosis and ended up in the hospital. And I had met this woman just prior to that. Her name's Gigi. And she came to the hospital like every day and took me for forest walks. And she didn't know me, and she just showed up for me. And she actually makes these dolls. And I've now made one doll myself, and I'm moving back there, and I intend to make more dolls. But these are kind of like, she uses, like, we use aluminum foil, and then we use like this like shaping clay to make the faces, and then you mold the faces, you let that dry, and then we just like paint the face on. And she's got this yarn, and she chose yarn for hers, and the clothes are all kind of handpicked from clothes she wore or her family wore. When I did mine, I can maybe share mine another time. But I just basically, Gigi helped me so much at one time that I wanted to help her back, because during COVID, her gallery just wasn't getting any attention. She was feeling uninspired. She's a super, she's world traveled, and so she's not getting the vaccine. That's her prerogative and choice, but that's held her back from enjoying her life as much as she was before, and having a profound effect on her. So this collection is all about me trying to help her the way she helped me. And so I go there, I stage the dolls, I take their photos, I upload them into Procreate, I digitize them a little bit, and then I'm doing all the marketing. So where these dolls are birthed from, and go to Foundation and look at the other ones. They're super adorable.
Wow. I just imagined a very powerful woman with a lot of stuffs, and a very successful woman now after those difficulties. It is just few people in the world that can just go through those difficulties, and after all of those accidents and bad things, they can just give some beauty and add some beauty to this world. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I'm so inspired. Thank you. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and the journey's still not over. Like, I haven't got an ICBC settlement. I probably it's been 7.5 years. I can't work. I got, compressed disc, and I've got all these different issues that I still live with every day. So and going through a relationship transition. Like, I'm literally in a transition house right now, because I don't have family, and a soft spot to land. And as a woman, like, we don't, I'm being vulnerable. I can easily be taken advantage of again. So I'm kind of in a bit of a sticky situation now, but with Web3 and with meeting wonderful people like you and my art, like, I'm feeling very positive and optimistic about my future. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Actually, I want to say hello to Star and Angel. I'm really happy to see you. And I want to say I know Star from maybe you remember, I know you from that night that Luna exploded. And yeah, we speak together, and I really respect you how as a woman you start and you try to make art. And for me, it's really respectful. I want to ask one question. Actually, today I check your Linktree and I check all of your character, and I think your character has ability for the making something like the animation, and yeah, making something like the smart animation. And yeah, what do you think about? Do you have any plan to make something like the motion to give your?
Yeah. With the dolls, the art dolls, yes, like I would be so open to that. There's quite a few more dolls that need to even come out into this collection. I've been sort of hesitant with adding more. But yes, I would love to see them almost go 3D at first and then go into animation after that. But like being in the, I don't know anything about, you might have a suggestion or could help me in the DMs afterburn, have any suggestions of who I could reach out to that would be a really great person to collaborate on something like that with, I would be super down, because I think these characters could even go into a book one day, like a little children's book or something.
Yeah, and I want to say hello to Jeremy. Thank you. I know you are super busy and you are in the another space. You are co-host, and thank you to join us. I know today you are not free for us, but hello, Jeremy.
Hello, I super apologize for being late. I was trying to make sure that I cut it early. I had told Sabode that I was going to co-host just for 90 minutes, but sometimes you don't even see the clock. So I do apologize for not being here on time. But it's good.
No.
Oh, never mind, Jeremy. I'm so excited that I have you here. I was in a lot of spaces with you, but it is just the first time to talk to you, and I'm super glad and super excited today. Thank you for joining me, and thanks to Paradis for making this relationship. Guys, I'm just super excited about these spaces because I myself had a lot of relationships with a lot of lovely souls in this NFT space, and I know you could just make a lot of relationships in my spaces as well, because it is just the concept of these spaces. And thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's good to see you, Angel. It's been a while.
Yeah, bro.
What's up, dude? How are you?
Good. I'm so happy to talk to you again for so long and to see you here.
Great. This is good. And Paradis, thank you for the invite again. Paradis has been going to a lot of our art couch spaces for a while, and the artwork that she does with the tile effect, I'm a big fan of. And some of her new pieces, the illustrations that she's been doing, the painted work is really beautiful as well. And Star, it's a pleasure to meet you. And Magical, yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm just curious. What's the topic that we're going with?
Yeah, actually, dear Jeremy, we start this spaces. Actually, Paria started this spaces, and after that, I add to as a collaboration in this spaces. We talk about our journey, and every person has a different experience and different, different way and different character, and for everyone is different. We have a different question, and uh, we have a special question for you because I believe that you are one of high quality person in our spaces. Actually, for the people who doesn't know Jeremy, when I start my journey, I go to the your spaces in the shit sandwich, and when everyone say in the shilling spaces you are perfect, you are very good, and you are amazing, you makes us to face actually to our weakness, our art. And for me it's something different. When I start my journey, for me Jeremy is a different person, and I always respect, and I learning from Jeremy how to listen, and how to listen to the spaces, how to listen to the people and understanding them and learning from them. And today we are here to ask about some question, and we know it's not completely time to know all of your idea. But for example, for me, I look at you something like as a artist and collector. I want to ask some question. Do you think something your NFT way has something effect of your art? Do you think NFT change your art or not? Because I think too much of artists they change their art for NFT. Do you think
Paris,
NFT has
I think before just hop into questions, we can just hear their art journey. because I really want to know more about Angel and Jeremy, and then we can just hop into questions because mostly, especially for Jeremy, I know that people knows him as a collector, but I know he's a great artist, and I want to talk about that part more. So if you don't mind, please let them to talk about their journey, and we will hop into questions as well. So yeah. If you don't mind, Jeremy and Angel, please go for your journey. I really love to know that part. Thank you.
Actually, I would like for Angel to go first since he got here before me. And I'm really curious to hear about his full journey. I know Angel has talked about some of that in the past, but please, floor is yours, dude.
I was gonna say the same thing for you, bro, for sure. First of all, I wanna say hi to everyone here. Star, is nice to meet you. We didn't have to meet. We didn't meet before. Paprika, thank you so much for hosting the space. Parties, Maxa, everyone here, I know. And where shall I begin? This is the strange of the history. Let me. Can you pin my first three tweets? The pin tweet, the second one, and the third one. It's simple. The three ones. I'm not gonna go further into that because it's a big journey. So I I always used to paint, but I will talk about the most important part of my life, which it happened after drug abuse in 2000 until 2004 that I almost ended up dead. And when I quit doing drugs, because I went into that because I was homeless, I left my house at the age of 13, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into that depressed mode, it's not my thing. Life is beautiful. When I quit methamphetamines, I went into a really big depression for 6 months. So the first painting that you're going to see up there, Copiria, I used to have it in front of the door that I used to live in, the room that I used to live. And every day as I entered the room, I changed the colors because my psychology was changing. And 6 months until I was completely fine, I finished Copiria. The original one is the one on the right side, the colorful one. On the right side. On the left side is a digitalized version, which is available for sale. So the journey began since then because I wanted to draw with colors because my life was dark, and I started doing that. And I started with a company called Angel Arts, and I did art for very famous people in all over the world. And 7 years later, I started practicing coaching. I started studying, but I was doing research in quantum mechanics, psychology, and the subconscious mind. And I still do after 26 years. And I started implementing in my art subconscious programs and subconscious messages that only one person actually discovered that, and he talked in one of my spaces and said, Angel, I found out what you're doing. I never talk about that because I really want to have that mystery behind my art. So in 2012, when I started the I Am VIP coaching services company that I have, I was inclined towards this color that I'm using right now, the purple color. Okay, because it's a representation of the highest self, the seventh chakra, which I needed to come in contact with something higher. And through psychedelics, I started having this journey towards an unknown realm. And it got me interested. Of course, I quit all of that. So I wanted to find a way to go back in without the use of any medium. So I started meditating for 4 hours a day, and always that color came in my mind, always the color. So I used it for my first company, my blog Laughing Socrates, which is one of the biggest blogs in the world right now regarding twin flame relationships, magic, and donuts. Yes, that's why it's love, demons, and donuts, if you see my my motto. So yeah, I took the color and I kept creating art. And I do digital collage. Of course, I do oil painting, egg painting, I do sculptures, I do all forms of art. And during that time, I also, if you see my nickname and if you Google my nickname, Angel Moths, you're going to see my career that I did. My artwork is featured in the best magazines in the world for many years, and it still does. But when I entered the NFT world, I just wanted to be like everyone else. I didn't want to come bragging inside this space like I'm somebody, because I really like the community vibe, to connect with other people. And Angel comes from that career. I used to do case modding, modifying computer cases to look artistic. And they discovered me, and suddenly I got sponsorships of $500,000 back in the day, which was good money. And I took parts of that journey that I learned, and slowly, I decided that too many things in a painting, for me, it wasn't my thing. So if you start going back and towards the latest collection that I have called Rosa Negra, you're going to see that I removed elements, and I just have something elegant, beautiful, that it can be inside your house, inside a beautiful modern house, because this is how I started my journey, by doing art for really wealthy people. So I keep it simple. Okay, besides my foundation, ballerina it's symbol, if I can say. But as I am progressing, I'm removing elements, because I learned through subconscious programming that proper placement of geographical elements in an image can produce specific emotions. This is what I aim for. But I always have that kind of mystery behind everything I do, because I really want people to go and search, and one day to say, Jesus, Angel did that, and nobody found out. Another thing that I'm doing, I'm going to close by a long speech. I do vector design. The people who are into vector designing, you know that you can do something and it can be magnified a million times without losing any of its, detail. So I'm putting little elements that it's not visible in Twitter. So if you buy one of my NFTs, slowly and in time, if you are very curious, you're going to discover numbers that are leading to certain articles that I have in my Laughing Socrates, and it will unlock a very big journey. I usually never speak about that, but that was my intention, not just art, but to have a mystery that unlocks a series of articles and videos that eventually you will discover something about you, or about the universe, or quantum mechanics, that you never thought that was possible to happen in your reality. So that's my story. That's just a little part of mine. Thank you for giving me the space, Jeremy and Paprika. I love you guys so much. Much love to all of you guys.
Wow, that was inspiring. Thank you for sharing. I really enjoyed your story, and I really love this part, because mostly we see some PFVs here, but when we just get into people's story, just something happens, just something make difference in us, and we just get some excitement from that part. I really love that. Thank you for sharing. And hi again, Jeremy. I'm here to listen to you now.
Okay, boy, where do you start in your journey? I know Paradise was talking about the NFT journey, but I probably should rewind a little bit further and explain kind of how I became kind of a collector. But I'm not really I don't see myself as a collector. I only see myself as an artist. I'm only able to collect because of my journey as an artist. And so back in the day, I was painting houses. I painted houses for several years. So we were painting houses outdoors. And it was, it's a fun job because you're working with other people. You're out in the sun and you can hang out with a good group of people. But it never was my calling. I always knew that I had future plans for myself. And so I decided to go back to school, and I found a photography program that I could go to that was a very good studio / business program that kind of like really forces you to like learn the ins and outs and understand the camera and understand the values of light and be able to know all the rules so that you can learn how to break the rules. And so I went back to school and I did photography. And while I was there, I also learned a lot of Photoshop as well. And once I graduated from that school, I moved directly to New York City. And from there, I got a job working for a big magazine company doing photo retouching, scanning old negatives and cleaning them up and fixing them. And it was a good experience, but it also allowed me to slowly find my way as a commercial photographer. So I would look for small ends jobs like on Craigslist, and slowly I started up to build a good portfolio of work, and I was meeting the right people, and slowly I was able to transition out of the retouching job and become a full-time photographer. It took years. It took probably about 4 or 5 years to where I could start being able to make a living off of photography. But I was able to learn so many skills by being a photo retoucher. Like I did retouching for some photographers where I did covers of magazines. I worked for wedding photographers as like assistant, but mostly as a photo editor. So I developed a lot of skills of understanding what good images are. So I did a lot of that, and then I just eventually transitioned into a full-time photographer. And that went on for a few years, but it never felt like I was doing work that I didn't want to be doing. It wasn't work that felt like it was my heart, like I was able to support myself, but it wasn't stuff that I really wanted to be doing. And I ended up getting sick I got sick in, I think, 2014. I had this bad eye condition that it made me lose like half of my vision in my right eye. And then it made me start to think that, okay, I really don't want to be doing what I'm doing. What is it that I really want out of this life? Because my condition that I had learned, there's a potential of going blind later down the road. And that scared the crap out of me. That really scared me, and it made me like really reassess my life. I had hit a point of, I'll say, rock bottom for sure. And I realized that, okay, wait, if I'm potentially going to lose my vision, I got to do something that really calls to me. And so I decided to spend a bunch of money that I didn't have on a Cintiq. Back then, Cintiqs were not cheap. But it was a great tool in order to become a digital artist. And I've always wanted to be a painter. And so I knew that I had really good I had built up a very good repertoire of Photoshop skills. So I said, okay, I know how to use Photoshop really well. Why don't I learn how to become a digital painter? And so I bought this tablet with money I didn't have. And I told myself that I need to find a way to pay this thing off doing digital work. And so I spent time doing research and trying to find ways in which I could make a living as I learned how to become a digital artist. And I had found through the avenues of video games that there's ways in which you can make artwork that goes into video games. And so I spent the next 8 months just like really learning the ins and outs and how it works and trying to see whether there's good money that's involved, whether I can make a living off of doing it. And I was just working every day, like night and day, like literally never less than 8 hours a day. Usually I would be up from the morning all the way until nighttime, and I'd just be learning how to be a digital artist because, you have to grab life by the balls. If you grab life by the balls and you just power through it, you're going to find a way. If it's something that you're super passionate about, you just got to really go after it. And you can't look behind you. And that's what I did. I spent 8 to 12 hours a day just grinding and grinding and grinding. And eventually I had to pay for the tablet that I bought, and it cost me a lot more than I expected because I didn't pay for it on time. So I had to pay it was like 20% interest. It was something retarded. Like, it was one of those pay me back later things, and it cost like 20% if you didn't pay it all in full. But I missed the date. I missed the date to pay it in full, and so I ended up getting stuck with a huge charge. But a month later, I finally got success. I finally had a piece that got into a video game, and back then, like, being able to do something like that was like winning the lottery. And so it really changed everything. It allowed me to continue to like let go of all my photography clients and start getting more into the build and asset position. And so I basically dropped everything and I became an asset creator. And so for the course of the next 7 years, that's what I did. And I still do it, and I'm still involved in it. But I had a condition happen to me again with my other eye. It happened to me. It happened to me more in 2000. I think 2019. I think that's when it happened. And so it attacked my other eye. And so I kind of like hit another bottom. Like, yeah, I'm doing really well with all my art stuff, but my vision is so important. I don't want to go blind. And so it was another like check, another shake, like, okay, Jeremy, all right, you have to really, what is it? What is it that you're calling for in this life? And so I had to make a lot of changes in my life. And I kind of sorted things through, and I actually have my vision isn't perfect. It's still bad, but it's improved, and I've been able to overcome these conditions. They are repairable, not repairable, but they can be avoided. And so after that kind of happened, it really made me start to explore psychedelics. I was like, okay, why are we here? What is the whole point of this thing? If money isn't making me happy, because clearly that wasn't the case. Like, money didn't do anything for me. It just made me reevaluate everything. Like, it's weird. I always say, like, they say money can't buy happiness. Well, it can make life easier. It definitely can make life easier. But once you start making money, that's when you actually have to face all your demons, because it's almost like you have to really see, okay, wait. So that's not what makes you happy? Then what is it? Because it doesn't make any sense. And so when I got sick again, it made me really stop to think of what is important to me. And so I decided that I wanted to start really focusing on doing art for me, not doing art for anybody else, but doing art for me, what makes me feel good and what drives me forward. Because in the end, you have to be doing things for yourself. You have to, there's like a balance in life. You have to be able to know how to do your work commercially that can satisfy your potential clients and satisfy the global market, but you also have to know how to put your heart and soul into something. And if you lose sight of that, then it's a dark road. And so I had realized that I was traveling on a dark road. And so I just started to pivot. I started to experiment with psychedelics, and I finally was able to get from a roommate that I was living with at the time some really good psychedelics. And from there, I started to have all these amazing images come to me. And it's like, oh, I know this is what I want to do. I want to just draw these amazing things that I experience. And so I just started to work on sketches. I had a sketchbook, and I would go to the park every day and I would just sketch something. Every day I'd go there, keep sketching, and I started to fill up my sketchbook. And then I was like, these sketches that I've been creating, I should just blow them up and do a digital version of them. And so I started to think of strategies of how I'm going to grow as a gallery artist. And so ever since then, the past like 3 years, mostly 2 years, I've been focusing on building these gallery pieces. But then, but the intention of selling them just isn't there yet because what's the word I want to say? It's hard to figure out what you should be selling your art when the other side of what you do, the commercial side, makes so much money. Like so, uh, everybody has an idea. Like if you can calculate what your hourly rate is, then that's generally what you should be selling your art for. You should be selling your work for what your kind of hourly rate is at the time. And so I'm just not ready to post my art to be sold because I have to focus more on just continually creating content. And so I'm looking at the art that I create as an investment for myself. So I'm investing in myself. And I don't know when the point is that I'm going to be done investing in myself and start moving forward and allowing people to invest in me. But so for the time being, I'm more focused on uh, creating work to invest for myself and working on some commercial products for actually the PFP. So for the past, I have a couple of artists who work for me, and they were doing commercial work for me. I'm kind of like I do art directing. So I have some artists that work for me, and I've trained them to be able to have a better eye and to understand what it is to be a commercial artist and what it is to be a successful artist. And so we've become really good friends, and they're like my family now. I don't see them as somebody that worked for me. I see us as a group of people who are just trying to make it by. And so they convinced me about a year ago to start looking at NFTs. They're like, "Oh, you should take a look at these NFTs." I'm like, I don't care about these NFTs. Like I wasn't really thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know if that's going to work. And then they kept saying, "Come on, dude, just put some of your artwork that you've been working on onto NFTs." And so they kind of like pushed me forward in order to start looking at the NFT space. And then that's when I kind of had this epiphany that, okay, I'm fortunate to have gotten early to cryptocurrency, and I know art. Like I've been successful enough for the past like 15 years to understand what good art looks like. So why not take some of the crypto and just move it into art? Because if you have a really good eye and you understand what is good art and what makes a really good artist, but not only that, like I mean, there's thousands of amazing artists in these spaces. But it has to resonate with you. It has to be something that you really love. So I said, okay, there's so many amazing artists and there's so many beautiful work that I like. This is an opportunity to just to do something with the crypto rather than just letting it sit there and watching it. I think so much more interested to get involved into the space. And so I started to invest in fine art. I said, fuck the PFPs because that's not my, I'm not a speculator. You know, even though I'm doing my own PFP project, I'm not into the speculation game. I'm more into the beautiful art game. And so I spent my time looking into artists to invest in. But the weird thing is at first I did it and I just did it by looking at the artwork and I just said, okay, this is amazing artwork. But then I started realizing that, you know, these are like, you know, good people who are trying to grow into better artists. And so that the investments I was making was also changing people's lives. And that was really cool. Like, so it's so much different than like a PFP. You know, if you invest in fine art, it's like with the PFPs, you're investing in a group of people. It can be a corporation or whatever. But with fine art, it's like you're actually investing in somebody and you're investing in their soul and their heart. And so it felt really good to get involved into that side of things. And I love to be able to do that. I've scaled back to how I collect now because I'm kind of waiting until my PFP project comes out before I invest again. But I love the fine art field. I think investing in artists rather than a group of corporate interests is so much more interesting. It's so much more valuable. I do understand that moving fine art is not going to be the same. It's going to take years. So I see investing in fine art as more of a holding game rather than flipping houses, which is what people in the PFP world do. So, and I'm going to stand by that too. Like, I think that fine art has a much more longevity to it. And that's why I got into that side of things. And now I'm here. This is, I do spaces like Parties had said that the shit sandwich space. And the purpose of that space was that nobody else was doing it. And I'm always kind of like trying to come in and like find the things that people need, but nobody's willing to talk about. And I remember going into all the spaces and just hearing, oh, God, I don't want to be, I want to try to say this as nice as possible, but this whole toxic positivity thing, like, it's just not helpful. Yes, you need to be able to find the good in people's art. Absolutely. You need to be able to say, oh, this is great. And this is awesome that you're doing this. Keep it up. I hope that you succeed. Absolutely. But the reality is what I have learned to how I became successful is I would take the recipe in which made me a successful commercial artist was I was willing to go ask the best in the field and tell them what is wrong with my art. What is wrong? I wasn't asking them what they thought, like how good it was. I just wanted to know what was wrong. And so I had the guts to go to all these artists that I admire and tell and say, look, what's wrong with my work? And I did that over and over again. And through that, learning my weaknesses, it allowed me to grow. It allowed me to be able to see a much larger picture. And that's why I originally did those critique spaces, is because we need to grow. We need to be able to recognize the dead wood on us so that we can burn that off and we can move forward. It's good to take negative criticism as long as it's done in a positive way. Like, you have to know how to walk around those little edges of somebody so that you're not going to make them walk away from art. But in the same way, you have to know a way to speak to them so that they can improve and progress and be able to take their art more to the commercial side of things. So that's kind of like how I got involved in these spaces. And ever since, we have changed and we're now talking more about just art and like trying to understand art, but I still like to do the critical kind of feedback because when people want to hear something, I'm willing to try to help them because that's how we grow and that's how we can become better artists. And yeah, that's pretty much kind of where I am now. And I do spaces, Parties knows, I do the spaces on Thursday with Saeed and Daria. And we love the spaces. It's so much fun. We're just all in it to learn from each other. Yeah, that's pretty much, I'm sorry, that was really, really long, but I feel like sometimes it's good just to kind of let it all out. And yeah, so thank you so much for your time.
Actually, I want to say everybody that say Jeremy is a really serious character, I always say that you should know Jeremy because Jeremy is a serious man in his life and his lifestyle, and he know the way. And actually, that's why I really enjoy your spaces. Actually, for the people that doesn't know the spaces, this space is actually it's a different level. Actually, I had different as Jeremy said, something like as fun. Also, we laugh too much, we listen to the music, we saw too much amazing art, and it was something like as a university. Your spaces is like a classes of the university. Thank you, Jeremy, to share your amazing experience with us. Thank you.
Anytime. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow, it was so amazing. I really love that. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it was so amazing because I need to know more about you, and I feel so happy now. Thank you for sharing. By the way, I saw Star had her hand up. Do you want to add anything, Star?
Oh, yeah, I kind of did after the last speaker. We jumped on Jeremy so fast. I kind of felt like I didn't get a chance to sort of.
Oh, sorry for that.
It was to comment on the other speaker. I I guess no, and I feel like Jeremy, I'll comment on you first, just because you just finished sharing. And to be honest, like I have one of the things, like for my car accident was a brain injury, so sometimes when a lot is shared and then I'm trying to keep, I don't keep track as well as I'd like to. But there was something that you talked about, and that was your you bought an iPad that you couldn't quite afford, and you took a lot of risks moving forward in your career. And I did the same thing. Like this iPad that I have for my Procreate, like I really related to that part because I didn't have the money either, and I went on a payment system with like a large interest. And I spent like 10 or 12 10 hours a day just creating and creating and creating too. And what I pulled the most out of what you said today, out of everything, was that we just need to stay persistent and work hard towards the goals that we want, and to keep focused, and we can learn anything, and we can grow in any capacity if we put our mind to something. And you just sound like somebody in life, like myself, who's just persevered and pushed through. And you are like, I'm just going to keep following you and listening to you, and come check out your spaces, because clearly you have a clear vision of your path, and where you're going and what you've done. And I'd look up to that. Yeah, you said so many beautiful things, but that was kind of what I took out of it the most. And I hope other people understand that about you and your photography. Like, yeah, sorry, I'm just still trying to like whirling all the thoughts around in my mind about your career. You've done so many different things. It's fabulous.
Well, thank you. No, I talk a lot sometimes because I listen to podcasts. I listen to long form podcasts, like 3-hour podcasts. I know that the younger generation of people, they kind of like they're more on the TikTok or the
yes, yes, they are. I'm 40. How old are you?
I'm older than you.
Okay, well, I'm 40, and prior to my car accident, I was a 3-hour podcaster, and I still try to watch a good Joe Rogan podcast every once in a while when he's got somebody good on. He had the sleep specialist, and I think I've watched that one like 3 times just to try and grasp all the information out of it. But yeah, you're absolutely nailing it with this younger generation and that instant gratification. And I've got all these distractibilities in my life now, but I talk to like my kids and their friends, and everybody has a super short attention span and doesn't retain information, and they're all like, oh, that's just like me. That's just like me. And I'm like, yeah, you don't understand. Like, that's not me. Like, I know why you are the way you are, but I'm the way I am for a whole different reason. Like, I was running on 6 cylinders. Now I'm on 4.5. So
it's a pleasure to meet you, Star.
Yeah,
I think the first time.
Yeah, I'm gonna come check out your spaces. And Angel, I just was fascinated by your ability to connect with the subconscious, and just to talk about that experience of connecting with meditation and getting deep within yourself, because that's a huge part of my process, and I didn't really touch on that too much in my share. But I have a unique ability to connect with that too. And I found fascinating that you were talking about the color purple. And because I've actually been having, I found it fascinating. I forgot that purple was a significant color of that chakra you were talking about. And purple has actually been bothering me a lot lately. Like, I don't want to work with it. I'm having a hard time looking at it.
These are perfect. Thank you.
Don't hate me.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
No, but what I'm getting from this, what I'm getting from this is that I need to embrace my inner purple right now, because this has happened to me throughout life. Like when I was a kid, I detested yellow, detested red. Like red, I detested red up until a couple of years ago, to be quite honest with you. And I didn't really start to learn to love red until I started with it. And that wasn't even my decision. That was Spirit's decision. So that's what I got out of yours, angels. I'm going to put some more time and energy into focusing on that chakra. So thank you for your words.
It's the seventh chakra. It's our connection with our divine self, and thank you for despising this.
Is that the crown chakra?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes,
That's what I was
yes.
thinking. And it's funny
I'm,
because I've associated chakra with gold light. Whenever I've done my meditations or been taken through guided meditations, I've always I've always been told that they're a golden light. And even in Chinese medicine, when I was doing qigong, they don't call that the crown chakra, but they refer to it as I can't think of it right this second. But yeah, interesting. I'm going to focus on purple. That's what I got out of you.
I'm going to. I don't know if I have to, or shall I do that? Because I don't like revealing my secrets. Okay, are you ready for that? So it's not about the crown chakra. I'll tell you the truth. There is what is called in Carlos Castañeta theories the assemblage point. It's a point that resides between your head and your neck.
Yes.
And it's 30 centimeters behind.
Is it the pineal gland you're referring to?
No. The assemblage point is the exit point of the third eye, which elongates from 30 centimeters behind of your neck, where if you focus there, you will feel goosebumps.
Yeah,
and it goes.
Are you sure that's not the pineal gland? It's because they call it different things in different.
No.
Pineal gland. I think.
Pineal gland, yeah.
Yeah, pineal gland is within it's called the thymus adenas.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The brain.
Please go on. I apologize.
Don't worry. So, in my quantum mechanics studies, we discovered with Vadim Zeland that this is actual a point in your energy field that can be activated. I'm going to be until here. I'm gonna only reveal one secret that I do. If you go to my foundation collection and also in some other things that I do, there is always a pink universe, a purplish, pinkish universe. It's a representation of how we are the actual universe observing itself constantly. Yeah. But the ego creates the separation with the identity of the human that we are right now.
Yes.
But we are actually that. And by activating that, in Vadim Zeland's book, Tafti the Priestess, it calls it the plate. So Joe Dispenza also talks about how you can activate this.
Love that guy.
Right? So when you activate that, you can actually have an immediate connection with the ether, or what is called the quantum field of infinite possibilities.
He calls it the pineal gland. I need you to send me that.
Yes, and you can actually have connection with the Akashic records, right, with the information that resides within the ether, and you can actually start manipulating the tangible reality. That I'm going further into that, just to say something much more into the purple kind of thing that I'm going.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I like what you said there, because I think when we're in our ego, we're edging God out, whatever spirit or God is to you, and I don't know if those things need to be kept secret. I don't think those are, Carlos Costanza and Joe Dispenza. I would love if you're open, if you're willing to share the name in writing to me of that part of the brain you were talking about. I'm more familiar with the pineal gland. But yeah, I would love to get the name of that part of the brain so I can do some research.
The point has nothing to do with the brain directly. The brain directly has a connection with pineal gland, the amygdala. Okay, So the connection there comes from the top of the head. The front part of the head is the much more doing everyday things and interacting with tangible reality that the mind creates and the mind perceives as is. The other way to see beneath the veil of the reality, besides psychedelics, is to be able to bring what is called the mother oil from down low below your genital area up to the 33rd vertebrae and electrify the pineal gland. And the most, I mean, I see my friend Noelle there. We talked about that in her space. We can do it 12 times a year. These are the 12 apostles in the story of the Bible. Has nothing to do with humans. Okay, and the 33rd vertebrae is the years of Jesus, and everything is codes. So by bringing that liquid 3 days when your sun sign enters, the moon enters your sun sign 12 times a year, you can actually electrify a part of the pineal gland and have a little enlightenment experience if you do it properly. So the people who are doing that, they observe that purplish color.
Oh, yes.
So,
Those
yes.
purples come in my meditation so many times over the years, like multiple times. Yeah, I'm fascinated. Thank you. I've been on a similar spiritual journey of you and reading Carlos Castaneda books and Joe Dispenza. Like, people in here need to hear those names and go look them up and do some research. You're fascinating.
Yes, and thank you for pointing out that purplish color despise. I think when something pulls us away, it also at the same time draws us towards that, because there's a misconception that there is good and bad, this and that, but in Hermeticism, we know that everything is neutral. It's our perception which defines that something can be bad or good or this or that, but at the end of the day, life has no meaning. I don't know how that sounds with you, but I believe in Bashar's theory that life has the meaning that you give to that. So yeah, I put all of this crazy mumbo jumbo things in my art. I don't know who's going to resonate with that eventually, but I don't care, because I really believe that at one point the right people who have that specific knowledge, or they're looking down to that path, they're going to resonate. And this is what I believe for each and everyone's art, because art is an expression of ourselves and our own personal journey and our personal, worries or beliefs or whatever. So we are going to resonate with our art, through our art, with a specific tribe. That this is what we're looking with our art. We're looking to connect with the people that can see us through our art. And that's enough. No more mumbo jumbo speaking. Jeremy, stop me, please, my friend.
Actually, it's so amazing to listen to you because I think all of our NFT and everything that we do with we put our art NFT, and I still I didn't think about market. I thinking about something we share too much metadata, and we put on the on the Web3 and Web2, and also we share this for the future generation, that how we look at the our life, how we look at the our feeling, our experience, and it is very nice to share this. And yeah, that's why this is very nice to speak and listen to you, dear Angela and Sir.
Thank you, dear. I really love your vibration is very beautiful. Thank you. And I want to add one thing, because I believe, because nowadays in the NFT world, we see so many talented artists. Okay, I'm not that talented. I sit down there, my friend Yannis, that is one of the most super talented artists that I know, and I will always say about that. And he's very humble, all right, and very genuine person. Okay, so if we try to compete with other people, we are losing the essence of who we are, what we like to do. I can't do the things Jan is doing. If I start imitating something different, then it's not me, it's not my identity. My art is not the best in the world. I can draw, I can do really complicated things, but I choose this path. I made the choice to go down this path because when I enter the house, I would really like to see something that I create inside that house. So I do that. I can't do what other people are doing, which I admire. I'm not envious. I admire people. So I just want to bring that easiness inside the people. If you're good doing something and if you really love it, let it be an expression of yourself. Don't try to imitate other people because they make sales of 10 ETH, because you want to make money. Believe in what you're doing and just keep doing that. I believe in my art. I really love what I do. I see my paintings in clubs and restaurants, and I really like that. Now in the NFT, I'm not that famous yet, right? And this is not my purpose. My purpose is to find like-minded people to connect with and say, Jesus, bro, I like your art. It will look nice in my kitchen or my bathroom, I guess, whatever. So this is our journey. We don't have to be hard on ourselves, but be able to express the way we want to. And because lately I've seen a lot of hate in the NFT space. This guy does digital collage. Let him do whatever the fuck they want to do. And if somebody buys that, that's okay. We shouldn't judge and we should always do what we love to do and don't feel envious for other people doing something that we consider better than we do. Yes, that's my two theses, I guess.
Wow. You just inspired me, all of you. It was so amazing chat, and I really love that. By the way, guys, Twitter just kicked me out 3 times. So before we get right, literally, I want to people in the stage to talk and to make their relations and ask their questions. So go on. Does anybody want to start? Josh, I saw you. You were just so raggy. Do you want to start? Are you there, Josh? Okay, I think he's not here. Mana, do you want to start?
Hello to
Hi.
everybody in this space. Hello, Paria, Paradis, Star, Jeremy, and Angel, and all Masa, oh everybody actually. Sorry, I cannot name all. And I'm so happy to hear you here and all your experiences. They were great, actually. The stories were wonderful and so inspiring, I think. And thanks for sharing all of these things with us. I just wanted to ask a question from you as artists. Do you think, besides following our instinctions and actually our dreams, do you think you can give an advice to an artist for finding his or her own way? Do you think there's something else that you can give as an advice? Thanks for your response in advance. Thank you.
For who was that? I didn't get it. For me, Jeremy, Star.
For all,
All of
actually,
you.
if it's possible for all of you, thank you.
Because
I was
everybody has their own visions, and that's the beauty of these spaces, actually. Oh my God, I'm just talking about my spaces a lot. Sorry for that, but I really love that. Thank you. Okay, Angel.
yeah, Jeremy, go about that.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know. It's all about finding your niche. It's all about finding, just kind of directing your battleship into the direction that you believe it should go. It's a slow process. Yeah, I think that when people, okay, I think I've been thinking about this lately about these contests that I see going on, and I think personally, uh, you're better spent creating things that come from your heart and not following other people's hearts. And so I think that's the same way in which you should look at your development as an artist is you just want to do the things that are good for you and where you belong. And one of the ways in which you can kind of uh, find that trajectory is looking at art and looking at lots of art. You know, you have this opportunity where you on Twitter to where you can find all these sources of art and find artists that you admire. And when you start looking at the art that you really like, you want to try to understand why you like that art. What is it about that specific piece that calls to you? And then you can take bits and pieces of all these different puzzles. So, what I like to say, what makes a really good artist is like pretend as though that you're like a watchmaker, you know, like one of those old time watchmakers, and you just start taking all these watches, and maybe you did it as a kid, where you take all these watches and you break them open, and then you take all the different pieces and you try to connect them together to make this like your own watch, to create your own thing. And so I think that's one of the beautiful processes of developing as an artist is from experimenting, but also from looking at all different kinds of art and trying to understand what is it about that specific piece that you like. And so I'm a big believer in reference folders. You should have reference folders of the images that you like, save them there, and go back and later look at them and try to grow from them. Try to see what you like. It's not about trying to copy from people, but it's about seeing aspects in the art in which you can kind of incorporate into your own vision, trying to see where you belong with the art that you're trying to create. I always feel as though that if you do that, if you just keep looking at art, you're going to saturate your mind with your own creation, and you're going to be able to kind of do something that somebody else isn't doing for themselves, and they're not trying to do things for everybody else. Really, it's about finding your niche and just going with that, and eventually you're going to find the kind of people who want to collect your art.
Thank you very much, Jeremy, for your very really helpful comments and ideas. And can I have the answer from Angel and Star, please?
Star, you can go first.
Yeah, is that right? I don't want to go after you anyway. Sorry. So the question was, what makes an artist? Like, what makes you a great artist?
Yes, actually, what do you, can you give? What piece of advice can you give to an artist for finding her own his own way?
Well, I think that's a personal journey for everybody as an individual. I think that if you're connecting to yourself and you're doing what you're feeling guided to do and not what other people are guiding you to do, and like a few other people have said here, and you believe in what you do and what you do has meaning to you, that may or may not transpire into meaning for somebody else, and it has a purpose and it provides you with something positive, then you're on the right track. And this is a hard question for me because I'm a new artist, right? I was just sharing in my story that I just discovered and actually have said for the first time in my life since November that I am an artist, and that I have my own style and that I've got my own way. Um, and as I said before, I think we are all artists. So I feel like I've been an artist since the day I was born. So yeah, I don't think there's anything that makes anybody any more great than another artist. Like I have a really hard time with that in this space when I see people seeming to separate us as artists into like one artist is better or not, because art is subjective, and I think art is storytelling. And so, me, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what a piece of art looks like. It matters to me how it makes me feel, and how it helps support the person who's created it, and what the message is. So that's sort of, I don't know if that really answers it, but that's all I got.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarjan. Actually, I saw Janice or Hannes' hands rise, and if you don't know, you should look at his work, and he's real rare artist. Do you want to add something with us?
Oh, well, it's a good subject. I have to say hello to my friends Angel and Jeremy here, magicalords as well.
What's up, dude? Good to see you, Giannis.
And me, Janice, and me.
Yeah.
Hi, Janice.
Hope you're all good,
Γεια σου αδερφέ.
Τι κάνεις, Angel, καλά?
Καλά.
Well, I just want to add something. In my perspective, everybody can be an artist, even somebody who's not an artist. But in my perspective, it's the viewer who decides who is an artist. That's my point of view, and no matter what type of art you do, you make a line only, and then somebody sees it and says, "Oh, this is an art." Well, then it is an art, because that is the belief of the viewer. So there's no definition of art, if you're an artist. What type of artist is, like Jeremy said, is like if you find your niche, and you work hard on it, and you believe in it and you love in it, this is something that makes your path as an artist. So from my perspective, like I said before, it's just very simple. The viewer decides, if you're an artist or not, based on what he likes. So it's very simple.
Oh my God, nobody ever defines if I'm an artist. Sorry. Sorry, that was my inside voice. Nobody defines me. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, you're sitting among artists here, so feel blessed.
Okay, thank you. I don't know what to say.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I just said that there are a lot of different visions, and maybe for one question, there are thousands and thousands answers and visions, because people have their own vision and their own mind, and we just lived in different cultures with different educations and a lot of things. So yeah, maybe in that part you are not, but in other visions, yeah, you are. Okay, Paris.
Actually, as I want to say my opinion about your question, because I think everyone can make art, and everyone do something like as art. I am the painter of the children. I am the actual teacher of the painting of the children. I know everybody can paint, and but I want to say some things that I do improve in myself, actually in my art journey, that makes our better artist. It's learning more technical, and everybody has a different vision and different looks to their different vision to their art. But that thing that makes your art better, and you makes your art rare, it's something like this, a technical doing your art. And this is my thing that I just start to learning more about the technique.
Okay, I want to add something on to this whole discussion as well. Okay, so yes, technically speaking, everybody is an artist, you know, right? Everybody that picks up a brush, anybody that picks up a camera, anybody that picks up a pencil, they are creating something. But we have to not bullshit the situation. There's a difference between being an artist and being a professional artist. And professional artist is somebody that makes a living off of creating art. And that is what we are, I think most of us, I'm not going to speak for everybody in here, but most of us are trying to figure out how is to become a professional artist. And so when we speak, when we try to help people answer these questions, we want to try to help them find their path to becoming a professional artist. I don't know, like it's really important for us to help people in ways in which they can move forward, because I think that most of the people in here are in the NFT space, and that means that you're minting your piece, and you're minting your piece because you're looking for somebody to buy your piece. And so I don't know, like when people say that, yeah, everybody's an artist, well, that's all fine and dandy, but let's get to the brass tacks of why we're trying to do this, because we're trying to sell our art.
Awesome. And Angel, do you want? Okay, Janice, do you want to go first?
Angel will go now.
Okay, Angel. People want you to talk.
Why do I have to go first? I'm always the last, and that's my position. I mean, give me a second.
Oh, yeah, you know, it's the power of magic. You cannot be the last now.
Yes. Okay. So look,
Okay.
I agree with everyone here, but I think the question wasn't that. I think the question was like how to find your the way. I mean, you want to express like your niche or this and that. I'm gonna tell you that it's a journey. It's a journey towards discovering yourself at the end of the day. Because you start drawing little figures, then you like it to draw, and you're drawing landscapes, and then you do something else, and you began at 6 years old. At 10 years old, you're doing something else. At 20 years old, you're doing something else. And you know why you're doing something else? Because your expression is defined by your own experiences. And at the end of the day, you're going to reach a point that you're going to start looking for things that you really resonate with, and find a point in your life that whatever you are doing, you first of all, you would like to have it in your house, in your wallet. This is the point that I believe that you find the proper point in your life that you say, you know what? I think mana is getting rugged. Perfect. I talk, they get rugged. So whatever. It's a journey. You try this, you try that, you try this, you try that, and one day you say, okay, I did it. I am doing something that I really love. I really love my style, but it takes years. Perhaps you will never find that. Perhaps you will try all of your life to find what you like. Because as an artist, we're very hard on ourselves. I don't know if anyone is like that. I'm playing with details, even though it's not visible in something like I do, but we play with details. I don't like this, I don't like that, and you try, you erase, you delete, try, you do that again, you throw away the fucking iPad, you're smashing your head on the wall, and suddenly one day you say, Jesus Christ, that feels good. This is the time that you did it. You are at that point, but you shouldn't expect other people to like that. That's a mistake. I mean, a few people are going to like my art, and that's okay. I don't expect everyone to like my art. And not everyone likes Picasso. Not everyone likes Dali. Not everyone likes this and that. It matters if you like what you're doing. And as I said before, the people who are going to love your art are going to jump in sooner or later, and I'm gonna say, yeah, oh my God, I love Jeremy, and I love Star, and I love Max, and I love Yannis, and I would really like to have that painting, and I'm gonna pay no matter how much money. And another thing that I want to add, Jesus Christ, Jeremy, you talk about that before, and you stabbed a knife in my heart, because in the previous space I was talking about the contest, right? You know what I'm talking about. And I did the same mistake, and immediately 10 minutes later or 10 seconds later, I felt that I betrayed myself. And I created a space to talk about that, because there are so many trends in the NFT world. Right now we're seeing, it's okay, I'm not judging anyone, okay? First of all, I'm not judging anyone or anything. It's just an observation. There are so many trends. We came early, we did PFP projects. Then there are contests. Then there are cartoonish girls with titties and beautiful asses and this and that. And everyone tries to go with that wave just to make a quick buck. And I felt that I betrayed myself, my unique style, just to enter into a wave of trends like that contest you talked about, Jeremy. I felt that. So I made a space just for people to remain royal to their own unique style and believe in themselves that one day, not just 5 collectors, that they are now like a group of people that they are doing all these things. That for me, it's okay, you can do whatever you want. For me as an artist, it's not okay. As an artist, I want to keep doing what I'm doing all of my life and never do the same mistake again. And unfortunately, I couldn't erase that NFT I did from my OpenSea collection. So I was the first to do that mistake. But stay loyal to whatever the fuck are you doing. Stay loyal. And as Jeremy says, he doesn't sell his art until he feels ready. And that's beautiful. Yannis is the biggest example here. He's doing the most amazing paintings that I ever saw in my life, and he takes the whole time in the world. These are an example for us as artists to have patience and wait for the proper time to do the proper steps to become successful. Yes, thank you.
Well said, dude.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so glad that you started a space and you're in a place in your life that you're able to be humble enough to talk about these types of things, because it's evident to me that you've been on a long journey and you really have discovered who you are and what spirit means to you, and who you are as an artist. But it's also important to share that we're humble, and that even with all our years of experience, and no matter how educated we are, how intelligent we think we are, how connected to the divine we are, we're still susceptible to making errors in our judgment of our path. And it is imperative that we listen to our intuition and that we get quiet and still with ourselves and follow the direction that we feel is right for us, and sticking to that. Like, I just adore you that much more, because um that is a true teacher. You are a true example when you are able to use yourself um, in that way. And I think, you're talking about you may not ever find your style or your thing, and that really rang true to me, because I think that I was able to find my little style and my niche and how I feel about myself as an artist so quickly, because I'd done so much work on myself. So I think when you fully discover who you are and you wade through the traumas of your past, and you assess yourself in your life and where you're at, and you learn to suspend that ego, then then that's when the doorway's open to connecting to that part of your being in your art. Is your style is found, and you become comfortable and content with who you are, and you don't care what anybody else thinks, because you know what makes you magic. So yeah, fantastic conversation.
Yeah, magic always works. Believe me. Okay, Janice.
Well, I just want to say, because, it's everything. It's like sort of for me, the way that I've seen the space, developing, so, the NFT space actually. And like a lot of you know, I don't have any NFTs or whatever, but I do art. I do my living. I never worked in my life. I always did art. So, life per se is not just, the NFT space, but, life per se is actually when you can make your living through your life, like in your life with art, what you create, then you can do and develop yourself in different branches, and everything that you're actually going to do, it's going to come good. It's been an experience for me to be at the point that I am, that I can actually live with my art. It was hard times as well, many times, like as an artist, everybody knows, you go through hard times. But when you're grinding, when you push, yourself, when you want to develop in whatever type of art you do, and then you come up, and you create different types of art and the same progress and process, you will learn throughout that journey, and everybody has an individual path, in the way that they're doing their own life and art. But that is important to remember. It's not the NFT space, like I said, all of you are here NFT artists. I'm not an NFT artist, and I'm here though. Why? Just to see this path as well. Because why not trying new things? And this is the challenge, that art takes you in a different directions. But stay true to yourself. Do what you have to do, and don't listen to nobody. We all say our opinions here, and it's individual opinions. But in the end of the day, listen to your inner self and do what you actually want to do. Make mistakes, because from that you learn. If you don't do mistakes, especially in art, that means you're doing something wrong. So make mistakes. So that's my point of view of it, and try new things. So that's it.
Wow, amazing. We are just going to the road of happiness, and that's the destination of life. And if you don't, if you are not happy, if you are not liking what you're doing, it's just shit sandwich. Okay, Mahsa.
Well, hello everybody. It's so nice to be among you, beautiful people. I have a question from Angel, Jeremy, and Star, our dear guests, and it's this. What challenges have you faced since you have started your journey? I mean, have you had any serious challenges since you have started?
Jeremy has a lot of things to say about that, I guess.
I don't know. No, go ahead.
Yes.
Come on.
No.
Sure. You were last, so you go first.
Okay. So challenges. Jesus Christ. Life is a challenge by itself. I think that we need more challenges. We have enough. I think. So I'm gonna
No,
talk about
Angel, let
yes.
me just maybe explain more.
Yes.
There are some people who, as newcomers here in this NFT world, like me, and I really would like to use your experience if there is any challenge we can face, and that would be very nice if you could share that with us.
Yes. First of all, it's for me. I'm talking for me, not for anyone, and it's not a financial advice or anything. Okay, and go to your private doctor if you have any health issues. First of all, before listening to me. So it's like, you know what? I come from a background that had a really big career in art, in a form of art that 90% of the people are not aware of. Okay, so the main challenge for me was just how am I going to present myself to a group of people they have no clue about who I am? Because if I did that in a powerful, proper way, first of all, there are two tricky parts. It might sound like bragging, and people are going to reject me, or like the egotistical motherfucker just that I want to be better than anyone else that I despise. That's not my thing. You know how I act. And I'm one with everyone. So I wanted to make sales. And the best thing to use when you are trying to make sales is to say to people, you know what, these are the magazines. I've been here, I've been there, I'm widely known, and buy my art because you're gonna flip it. So that was the first challenge because I didn't want to do that. I started from scratch. The second challenge is that I think it's for every one of us here. There are so many things going in the NFT world, and we are distracted. Trends, PFP, docs teams, undocs teams, this, that, a blockchain shifting, fees, blah, 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 blah. So many technical things and so many trends coming up every day. So you're saying, okay, I'm here, I don't make sales. All of the people are making sales. What the fuck am I supposed to do? And you keep asking that question to yourself. So shall I do that? And me, I did all the mistakes. Okay, blame me for all the mistakes. But to excuse myself, I did that thing. I used Object or Tezos blockchain, and I said to everyone, okay, that's not my main art, but I like doing different things. You know, that's who I am. That's who I am. I like doing things, and I couldn't stop myself from creating. I created, I don't know, 300, 400 NFTs so far, even more, which I deleted most of them. So I said to them, you know what? You can go to my object, you can grab something for the price of a coffee or even for, I don't know, a cigarette, a single cigarette, and you can have something from me because I want to create. But what that created, it confused people. It confused people that was challenging for me because then I had to explain, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, that's not my kind of art. I'm the purple guy. But it was too late because I wanted to do more things, which is good. I like to express myself. But you know what could I do differently now because we're talking about challenges? I could do that and not put it in the NFT world. I could do something else and express myself and keep my identity. So the biggest challenge is to keep your own unique style without diversing here and there. Like Jeremy is doing that crazy art that I really like, right? I didn't really like it before, but when I saw his consistency and that he delivers a message and he is the guy that he is, I connected with that kind of art. So another thing is like try to find a way, which is challenging, to connect your personality with the expression of your art. So when people see a painting of me, they say, all right, that has to do something with elegance or the connection with our higher self or a spiritual or occult message. And I would like to have that from Angel because I know him and I resonate with that. So a challenging thing is to connect your identity as a personality with your art. So people are going to relate with that in a gentle and beautiful way instead of, oh my God, that's fucking stupid Angel. What the fuck is this? Just delete, block him or whatever. So a challenging part is to enter the spaces, the community, being genuine and represent with the integrity of yourself the form of art you are doing. So there is a linking point. And sometimes when the challenging part is I judged a lot of people during that way because there are so many toxic also people and so many trends that I don't agree. So it's like I was going away from who I truly am. And that was challenged to constantly remain that spiritual mumbo jumbo guy who makes constant awful jokes all the time. So, but yeah, integrity, integrity towards ourselves and the form of art that we're doing, and keep doing that and never diversify. Learn from my mistakes. This is what I want to say, and thank you, Maxa, for your question. You are so lovely and beautiful and an amazing person, and I love you so much.
Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you so much. I love you too.
Okay, let's hear from Star and Jeremy. Who wants to start?
I'll go. I okay, so I'll start off with one really good thing that I did to begin with. One thing that I did do smart to begin with was I didn't rush myself into minting anything. I really allowed myself the time to get to know some people in the community first, and sort of because I wanted to sit back and watch what other people were doing, and there were so many people that were doing different ways of doing their collections. And for me, was most confusing was I understood people, but I didn't really understand how to market my collections or how to deliver something. And one of the mistakes I made early on is kind of similar to what Angel was saying about how he kind of went against his style, or his style to be in a contest. Is I knew I wasn't still quite ready to mint, but I took the advice of somebody that was in a more higher up place than me to help guide me. And I feel like I kind of got guided a little bit wrong. Um, I my intuition, I wanted to start my pricing off lower, and it was recommended me to start it at a higher price point. So I think that kind of limited me. What it did is I felt like my art was worth that much, like 110%. In fact, I think my art is worth more than what I have it listed at. However, I think when in the beginning stages, for me, if I could go back and change anything, I would have started at a little bit and stayed at a little bit of a lower price point to begin with, just to get more people, just to get in more people's wallets and to get seen by more people. Yeah, I'm kind of I'm just feeling a little stumped now. I just think, more challenges. I'm still feeling the challenges. Like I've only been in since January, and I'm still like, even right now, I'm dished out a few collections, and I'm like constantly, I'm hosting a space, and I'm known in the spaces, and people love me, and I'm making a name for me, but I'm always second guessing, like, what's the right way to do a collection? Is a Genesis just the Genesis your very first piece, or is the Genesis like the first piece of a new collection? Like, what about edition collections? Do you name it editions, or do you name it another name? Like, how many do you put out, and for how much? And what, like, your mind starts going in 1,000 different directions. And I think just doing your own research and trying to really paying attention to what people that you look up to are doing, and try and spend a little bit more time before jumping in would be my advice.
Well, thank you so much, Star. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
That was nice. Okay, Jeremy.
Boy, I've been trying to think. I've been trying to understand. I mean, there's always just challenges of just being on social media that I think is my biggest challenge. I have this big adverse allergies to social media. I've always My Twitter account is like less than a year old, and that's the first time I've ever used Twitter. I never, ever, ever wanted to use Twitter. I'll be completely honest. Like, I always thought Twitter was the last place that I could find myself on, because I remember reading discussions of how people treated each other on Twitter, and it really repulsed me. And so my challenge was like forcing myself to do something I didn't want to do. And so I decided to create a social media, just because I know that in order to kind of put yourself out there, to market yourself, you had to use this space, because I know that crypto holders are people who are business people, and business people use Twitter. So it's like, all right, I'll figure out how to use this social media crap. Because that's really how I just feel about it. I really don't like social media, because it's not, okay, so I love Twitter Spaces. That's different. So like Twitter as itself, as like the tweeting aspect of it, I'm against it, because it's like you're basically cropping in on something, like really cropping in on an idea, or just trying to like make it so that your words are exactly what you're trying to say. And I think that's the problem, why people are always fighting with each other on Twitter, is because they're limited with the ability to say clearly and coherently what they have to say. And there's no tone, and there's no context behind a tweet. And so my challenge was just really forcing myself to find a way to be able to be honest and express who I am without pushing the wrong buttons, because I'm kind of a sarcastic guy. I'm not too serious. I try not to take life too serious, and I'm not afraid to be offensive. I think you attract the people that you're interested in, and I'm interested in people who can take jokes, people who aren't afraid of just laughing and laughing at themselves and laughing at just life in general. And so navigating Twitter has always been my challenge. But then I heard about Spaces. I heard that, oh, it's like, wait a second, Spaces actually makes sense, because now you can either just, people can like you for your personality. I know that there's plenty of people who probably don't like the way that I am, but at least you can know through context and listen to what I have to say. You can weigh the discussion more than you can weigh it through tweets. And so you can step over landmines much easier on Twitter Spaces. It's harder to avoid those landmines when it's just text. So it was actually a challenge to be able to get myself to talk in Spaces, because there's a lot of people who are in Spaces that it's frightening to come up to speak. It's like, oh, am I going to say something stupid? Yeah, we all say stupid things. Who doesn't say stupid things? And it's okay. You just have to be able to be okay with being stupid, and be okay with just being yourself. And so I think just the social media has been my biggest challenge. The art side of things, I'm less concerned about. Those pieces will fall into place when they need to fall in place. But in order to present myself as a human being that isn't going to be misconstrued, and you can see me for the face value of who I am, you can kind of make your own decision. And so that has been a blessing, is these spaces. And I'm so happy to have met all the very interesting people. These spaces have allowed me to understand how to communicate with all different kinds of people better. I think I'm such a better communicator in regular contact with people, because now you get to listen to all these different kinds of people that you maybe are not like with YouTube, you're stuck with these algorithms. So you get caught in all these little tunnels. I'd like to call them tunnels because algorithms are pushing you to listen to the same content over and over again, and the biases that you have. But in these spaces, it allows you to see a much wider variety of humans, a much wider variety of emotions and feelings and different personalities. And so I've learned to be these spaces have helped me be less of an asshole and have more empathy for people and understand that we're all just kind of doing our own thing and trying to grow as human beings. So I think my real challenge was just being able to be comfortable with myself and being open and discussing these things about art and being able to share and helping other people grow. Yeah, I would just say that would be kind of my challenge is social media.
That
I
was
love,
my challenge.
yeah, I appreciate it, Jeremy, because when I just hear and listen to your experiences, I see I have somehow the same challenges, and we're still moving on, and this is so sweet, and I love it. Thank you so much.
I
Thank you
think the
so much.
I
Yeah,
think the
Angel.
beauty I think the beauty of all that experience that we had, first of all, as Jeremy said, we learned how to connect with each other, be less judgmental, be able to accept others as they are. And at the end of the day, my conclusion is we're not here solidly for the art. We're here for connections. We're here for love. We're here to grow as individuals. And that's the beauty. I love doing spaces just to support other people with the things that I know, of course. I can't help you fix your damn car, but you know, that's the beauty. We connect. It's so beautiful, and we learn how. As Jeremy said, the first time I met Jeremy, I shit my pants. Literally, I shit my pants, and never because if I come up and say to judge my art, he's gonna make a ridicule out of me in front of all people. But when I get to know Jeremy, I discovered that he's genuine. He wants to support other people, and but I never took the chance to. No, I'm kidding. And he was very kind enough to guide me, and I did exactly the things that he told me immediately. I deleted the paintings that he didn't like. I rearranged my collections, and I started making sales because I accepted that having someone to guide me, and that is another thing. We need to be also open to advice from someone that has some kind of experience, and that there are so many wonderful lessons. Yes, sorry for my rambling here.
I want to add, it's a very nice conversation. And before to go to speak with Star, I should say I know Paria. Paria has she lives in Shiraz, and it's a small story in Iran, and she has not, she doesn't have a good connection, and she's now got right. And yeah, but I I have too much, too much deep question, but I think it's not enough for this space, and I want to continue all of my question. But Star, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be
Do you want
super.
to add something?
Yeah, I'll be super brief. I just wanted to piggyback off what Jeremy was saying because it just stimulated another. Just I wanted to piggyback. It stimulated more thoughts for me. Um, it really hasn't been a huge challenge for me because I really learned a lot about balance and about taking care of myself and setting personal boundaries in my life. It's been a large part of my spiritual journey. But I do know that many, and I've talked to many people that come into the space and they struggle with how much time they're spending on social media. Because prior to me coming into Twitter, I wasn't really on social media. Like I have Facebook, I post once in a while, but I was very reclusive. And um, so how I've done is I really talk a lot about people getting into nature and the beautiful part of being in spaces and with Wi-Fi and unlimited data that a lot of us have and some of us don't. But if you do have a reasonable data plan, you can I go out into the forest. Like I literally will sit in the forest or I'll bring my lawn chair, like my portable chair, and I'll go sit with my feet in the creek while I'm actually in a space. Like I don't need to be in my home to be participating in spaces. Like I can try and find that balance to connect with the energy of the earth and try and stay as grounded as possible because this technology will suck the life force out of you if you're not trying to find some sort of balance that way. So just wanted to add to that.
Energy sucking Twitter.
Kaya, are you
Yes.
still yeah. Kaya, are you still with us, or can you
I don't know,
open
can
your
you hear
mouth?
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, just Twitter kick me out 2 times again. I was just saying Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Just Islamic people understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh my God. I was just begging to God not to wreck the space. So, okay, for the last question, Paradis, you can just go on. And I believe maybe we can do the same space another time again, because I really enjoyed the speeches and the topics that you were talking about. It was so amazing and I really loved them. And thank you. Okay, Paradis-chan.
Yeah, my question actually, it's a really deep question, and I think we should speak about my question for 1 hour. But yeah, if because I think yeah, actually, I go for and ask my question. Actually, I spoke with dear Mike, and he said after the NFT artist died, his value of his art or her art is determined, and I think the time is a really determining factor. But I want to know your view and your opinion about the time of the how makes in the future how the future generation look at our, and is it true that after dying, our value of arts it's determined.
Okay, I want to answer this right away because, boy, I've thought about this question, and the reality, I think, is that you need to have a huge body of work. If you were to die and you only have, like, I don't know, 10, maybe 20 pieces of art that you've ever created, no, because there needs to still be some kind of demand. The artist, like, I think of one artist in particular who died and wasn't recognized before he died, was Caravaggio. Caravaggio, he has these incredible paintings. They're just phenomenal paintings, but I I think his collection was rather big. I think the collection that he had was rather big. So it's kind of similar to it's like the kind of like the PFP phenomenon. There needs to be a lot of people who can get behind the art in order for it to have recognition. If you and a large body of work is kind of your history. So yeah, if you carry a long history, then there's a chance that in your time of a death, then your art will have more value. But I don't know. It's such a dark and morbid question to think about, and it's more important just to focus on growing and continuing down your path. And of course, if you have loved ones, maybe there should be somebody that has your 12 your 12 seed phrase, your 12 word seed phrase, so that it's protected, and that the art that you've invested in and the art that you've created will remain safe on the blockchain. But definitely, death is not like you don't never want to like collect from a piece of artist and and thinking like, oh he's got coronavirus, next week maybe my art goes, the value of his art's going to go up. Because no, I don't think that is really the case, unless the artist is already has such a super body of work. It's not like nowadays that can be possible. Like a Da Vinci kind of character, not Da Vinci, Van Gogh, like a Van Gogh or a Caravaggio. That was just because there was no scope of influence. There wasn't way for them to show their work, and so it was a less information traveled, and so there's just it nowadays. I mean, who doesn't like show their artwork somewhere? So it's not like it doesn't organically already happen much stronger than it did in the past. I think now it's more of like you have to develop a large body of work to where you're going to be able to find success even after your untimely death.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear this. Thank you so much, dear Jeremy.
Can I add something to that? I had this in my mind since the day I started drawing. And I believe that it's time to go away from the old paradigm of things, how they used to be before, and move into the new paradigm, into the new era of things. Because the NFT space gives us so many tools to achieve success, hopefully before we die. So I always talk about the power of the utilities in a different way. We think that utility is just sending a tangible piece of art to the collector. It doesn't have to be that way. I know many people disagreed with me, but I said it kindly the other day, like, if you're really good at doing cookies and you're the best in the world, and you're also really good at drawing cookies, you can use our utility to reach out more people. Perhaps your cookies are going to be much more, famous in the world, and suddenly you become a pastry chef somewhere in the world. But we have so many tools in our possession nowadays that we can use. I'll give an example. I'm a coach. I'm a VIP coach. I've been training high-level achievers in all over the world for the past 10 years professionally and 16 years since I started. Okay, so when I started doing spaces, I had people getting really into the topics that I'm talking, like quantum mechanics, reality manipulation, the subconscious mind, advanced tools that we are teaching in with the school in Russia. So the key here is find something that you're really good at and in a way implement that. So I did some NFTs that they were acting like tickets to my coaching sessions. And what I said in the other space, what is this doing? When you have a painting of a person that actually helped you transform your life, each time you look at that, it will bring a nostalgia and say, ah, that was Angel, this crazy motherfucker from Cyprus, and he actually was by my side when I was going through that experience, and we had an amazing coaching session, and I became a successful entrepreneur. So you can link a part of yourself to utility and offer it, or vice versa. Use these tools for your own advantage. Okay, perhaps you say, I'm not good at anything. No, you can find something that you're good at and give something more. Why do I say that? In the book of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he says, don't give your 100%, give 120% of what you are doing always. Give more, give more of yourself, give more love, give more value. Okay, sometimes your art is enough. Okay, your art is enough, but we need to learn how to use the marketing tools that we have right now. Enter spaces, communicate with people, create some kind of hype around what we do, and attract more people towards our art in different ways and use different pathways for us to be successful. It's time to move to the new paradigm, because what the fuck are you going to do with the money when you're dead? You can't buy pizza in heaven. I don't know if you can, but I believe so. So the key here is to develop ourselves and our skills and act as entrepreneurs. That's my idea. Think like an entrepreneur. Market yourself. Offer free spaces. Offer value. Right? Perhaps you're really good at oil painting. Make a goddamn space and talk about your techniques. Teach other people. Don't be afraid that somebody is going to steal your techniques and they're going to be better than you. You want people to be better than you. Don't be afraid. All right. Give your value, and that way you can network and sell these goddamn paintings before you're dead. That's what I believe. We need to make money, guys, before we're dead, so we can enjoy life and go see Jeremy in Texas.
Yeah, this is so great. Actually, I am totally agree with you. Yeah.
Can we come over there, Jeremy, to visit you with all that money that we're gonna get from the NFT?
You're gonna have to come to Istanbul.
You moved back again? You went back again?
Yeah, I'm here for another month.
Okay, perfect. In 1 month, I'm gonna be a millionaire, bro, and I'm coming there. I'm coming there.
Angel, I'm your friend. Don't forget me, please.
Okay, take a line. Go in the line and wait. I'm gonna give tickets. Okay. Nice.
Thank you, everybody. It was so nice. Okay,
The purple madness.
Okay, Peria, I am your friend.
Okay, I don't know if I get right. I can't hear you. Are you talking, Angel?
Yes, I said I don't know anyone. I got amnesia suddenly and I don't remember anyone.
Oh my God, I just thought that I'm your best friend.
Yes,
no
everyone
problem.
is
I
my
cannot
best
be friends with Jeremy and the star.
Okay. Okay. I need to make more money then. That's not a problem. Okay. Done deal.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. It was a very nice day, and it was a very great chat that I had with you. It was so great to meet you, and nice relationship that we made today. Thank you for being with me to the end. And, we will have such spaces on every Saturdays and Wednesdays, and we will have a lot of great artists and collectors to hear their visions. And yeah, we have a lot to discuss every time, so please don't miss that. And also I will put some videos about these spaces on the YouTube, so if you had some barriers with English, you can go there and use subtitles there. So yeah, I just tried my best to catch all the spaces. Thank you everybody for being with me and accepting my invitation. Thank you and goodbye from me. If you want, you can just go on with your goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for inviting us. Jeremy, it was a pleasure seeing you again. Star, nice to meet you, darling.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all as well. I really enjoyed the conversation today. Be well, everybody.
Yeah, it's great to see you
Ciao.
again, Angel. Have a good
Yeah,
one.
bro.
Star.
Thank you to join us, and thank you for accept our invitation. It was really our pleasure. Thank you, Jeremy, Star, and Angel.
Anytime. Have a good one, everybody.
Much
Bye
love to
bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.